Welcome to Hardheaded Podcast. We're excited that you've joined us as we have a conversation. We found that a good conversation allows us to share what's on our mind, whether current events, what's grinding our gears, or our pet peeves.
It also allows us to share our top 3, a list of our favorite things on any given subject, most of which are highly opinionated. In closing, we share a good word. Solid friendships are encouraging. Even if we joke and give each other a hard time, our ultimate responsibility is to uplift each other.
Our goal is that you'll feel like you're part of the conversation, like you were in the studio with us, and that you feel encouraged after tuning in to our podcast. It's time to join the conversation. All right. Welcome. How was that?
That was exciting.
You like that?
Yeah, get pumped up.
I thought somebody else was in the studio here. I
Yeah,
didn't think that was Matt.
Somebody was telling me to calm down. I'm not calming down.
Yes.
We're going to start today with what's on Chet's mind. We've got our top 3 today, which is our top 3 albums. We're not going to categorize that, whether it's all time or right now or whatever, Troy.
That's right.
It's just top 3 albums.
I mean, top 3 albums just alone, that's impossible.
It is possible.
It's impossible for me to categorize that.
You're going to do it. You're going to do it today.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
I'm going to surprise you guys.
You know what impossible stands for? I'm possible. So you can do it. And then
good.
Troy's going to
And
finish.
you're good enough. You're smart enough.
And gosh darn it, people
like it.
people like him.
Yes.
Not many, but some do. Troy's going to end us with a good word. So Chet, kick us off.
So do you guys know about this LIV Golf tour?
LIV Golf?
LIV Golf.
L-I-V, right?
LIV.
Yeah. I've heard about it.
Limited knowledge of it.
Limited knowledge.
I heard. Well, you're probably going to tell us.
Who backs LIV Golf?
The
Saudi Arabia?
Yes.
Do they really?
Yeah, Saudi
Okay.
Arabia does.
Nice.
Well, that's all the reporting has been the Saudi-backed LIV Golf Tour. Like that's all they say is Saudi, Saudi, Saudi. This is a big deal. But so I'm a golf fan. You guys may have picked up on that. And follow some of the PGA activity, and now follow the LIV Golf activity. At this point, I have watched when we record this, I've watched one and the first LIV Golf tournament.
Oh, were you at the Wichita Open a few weeks ago?
No, it was not.
Oh no, just checking.
I was watching it on live stream, which LIV Golf streamed on Facebook, streamed on YouTube. It was everywhere. Free. No paywall to get in. No, you have to buy the Peacock Network if you want to watch golf on NBC, or if you have to buy the CBS Paramount app if you want to watch it there. It's literally, and I didn't know a whole lot about it the first time I watched it, but I was like, okay, and it was cool coverage. They had a different way they showed the score on the screen. You've got teams. You literally have 4-man teams that are competing, as well as their individual score matters too.
Oh, that's interesting.
The winning, the pot that you win, $4 million.
Can I play?
$4 million for first place. You know what last place got?
What?
$120,000.
Wow.
$120,000. You know what you have to get? You know
How do you try out?
You know what place you have to be invited? You know what place you have to be in?
Matt's got some friends in Saudi, right?
In a typical PGA tournament. You know what place you have to be in and get $120,000?
What?
20th. And they take...
Well, so how many people play in the tournament?
46
in the PGA or
42 in LIV Golf.
Okay.
PGA, that's the thing about the PGA. You have 2 days of tournaments, and then you have a cut.
Right.
So if you don't make the cut in a PGA tournament, you make no money.
No money, right.
And then it could be just a couple $1,000s if you're the last place there.
I learned that on Happy Gilmore.
Yes. There you go. Very educational documentary.
That's right.
Had on golf. And then the other thing that I thought was really interesting was the way that they were scoring. Typically when you're watching a PGA tournament, it's like it's the name of the person, this is their score, and this is the last hole that they completed. And, they start golf in, 6 o'clock in the morning, but the TV broadcast doesn't start until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you have a player that you really like to watch to play, but they're not going to be in the final pairing, didn't score well, but you still want to watch them, you cannot do that in a PGA tournament. It doesn't happen. Like maybe in the Masters, they got a couple things where you could watch online for that. But the majors are a little bit different than a typical PGA tournament. LIV Golf, shotgun start. What they had up there was the number of holes left to play.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
everybody is basically on that same number of holes left to play.
Right.
So things are happening right then.
Yeah.
I mean, just right then and there, they're going. They don't have a cut. They also don't play 4 days. They play 3 days. They end on a Saturday. And I'm thinking, man, this is pretty cool, but why is all the press, and every bit of the press I'd read up until that point was negative towards LIV Golf? And I started digging into it, and then, well, it's the Saudis, and the Saudis are horrible. And the thing that keeps getting brought up is that journalist Khashoggi that was killed, dismembered and hauled out of an embassy. And they're like, oh, these are the same people that are doing this. And I'm like, yeah, that's bad. The Saudis are some really rough people that are not that great. I find, I'm like, well, I can't believe that golf all of a sudden just said, well, okay, well, all these golfers, and there's some pretty prominent golfers, Bryson DeChambeau, Patrick Reed, I don't like him, Dustin Johnson, Phil Mickelson, Sergio Garcia, Ian Poulter, Lee Westwood, some big name golfers, not just from the U.S., but from Europe, have all signed up to play. And then you're like, well, the only reason they signed up to play is because they gave them money. I'm like, well, that's why is everybody else playing golf?
Why do you go to work?
Yeah.
Make money.
To make money.
How much money? Dustin Johnson, it's being reported that just to say, I'm done with the PGA and I'm going to play LIV Golf, they wrote him a check for $125 million.
The Saudis did? Who did?
The LIV Golf Tour, which is funded by the Saudis. You know how much money Tiger Woods has won from PGA golf tournament events
Not that much.
in his career? $120 million. Dustin Johnson signed one thing to say, I'm coming to play for you guys. He got $120 million bucks.
How long does he have to play?
Let alone he's banned from the PGA now.
Right,
So the
but
PGA
how long does
retaliated
he play at LIV? Because he just, can
Until he is done.
until he doesn't want to play anymore.
he play one hole and get hurt and I'm done? I got $125
Well, I mean, if you get
million
hurt, but why stop there? I mean, if he wins one of these tournaments, he's going to get another $4 million. You win a major in the PGA, you win a PGA tournament, or just a regular tournament in the PGA, you're not even getting $1 million. And then you win this, you're getting, let alone you're on the 4-man team. So they get these team captains and they get to select the other 3 in this kind of a draft every time that they play. If you're you're like the number 4 guy and you don't score well at all, but your team ends up winning, which is what happened with this. Charles Schwartzel won, and his 4-man team also won because they were like 3 of them in the top 5. $750,000 more dollars coming your way.
Nice.
So money flowing out of everything. And I was pretty shocked. So then I'm like, well, why? And Mickelson, I think it's reported he got $200 million just to sign
So
up to play.
Mickelson's out of the PGA for good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
For now.
For now.
According to the PGA.
till
PGA kicked them all out because they signed to go play with these other guys.
Till they change the rules.
But then I started listening to interviews of the people that are going, and like why they're asking why are you going? The number one answer that I saw, it's better for my family, and I'm like, well, yeah, money's good for family. When you actually look into it, they're going to play, I think maybe 10 tournaments this year. You know how many tournaments you have to play as a PGA tour?
20 something.
45.
Whoa.
They have 45.
So almost every weekend, I mean,
Just about it.
every
All
Thursday,
year.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're gone.
So you're having kids, but you got to be out. Now, you don't have to go to every PGA tournament, but if there is a PGA tournament, you are not allowed to play golf anywhere else. So you can't go play European PGA Tour or Asian Pro Tour. You can't do any of that. Like, so you have to, if you're going to go play outside of a PGA sanctioned event, you actually have to get written permission from the PGA to do that. So it's not like, hey, we can go on vacation and play on this South American tour. I could bring my family down there. I could play golf for 4 days. We could be down there for like 2 weeks. They're like, no, we're not going to, you can't go play in another tournament, outside the PGA. They can, they pay for everything. So players pay for everything. It's their independent contractors. It's not like the NFL where there's a minimum salary. It's you don't win, you don't get any money. Some people like that. Like, oh, okay, well, yeah, only the winners get money. Yay. Well, that also means that if you're having a slump, you're not making any money at all. Like, what's the point? Well, I may not be able to stick around. There may be some other issues that are going on. Then, and if something goes, and this is a thing I think that's very important that we're starting to see, that the PGA is losing their grip. Whatever the PGA wanted, the PGA got, because if you did something that the PGA didn't like, they could ruin you. Like if you spoke out and said, well, hey, I don't like this about the PGA rules. Like, well, we're going to have a talk with your sponsors, or we're not going to let you into this tournament that we were thinking about letting you get in, even though you didn't qualify for. So you don't even have an opportunity to win to make money. But then I also started looking at, like what's going on with the Saudis. Saudis know that they have a reputation issue. So this ministry that they have is actually to a public,
service announcement,
like a public relations deal. But what industries and sports have they been in before this LIV Golf thing even got off the ground? Did you know that the WWE has a relationship with Saudi Arabia to actually have, I think they have 4 WWE events in Saudi Arabia every year?
I was aware of that.
Formula One.
Yeah.
They race in Dubai, but they have to do it at night because it gets too hot in the daytime and the asphalt buckles. Pro tennis goes through there. The Asian Golf Tour already goes through Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia owns a Premier League soccer team. There's a lot of horse racing that goes on in Saudi Arabia as well. So all of a sudden, though, the press is just going bonkers over golf. None of this other stuff was a big deal. It wasn't a human rights issue. It's not a human rights issue with the NBA being in bed with China and what they're doing, continually doing over there. You want to talk about the Uyghur Muslims and the concentration camps. Not allowed to do that. We can't talk bad about that. It's okay. Press is going to let the NBA get a pass there. But they're really going after the PGA or the PGA players that left to go play LIV Golf. And I just think it's fascinating to me. I was a fan of it. So I'm a big, I like watching the majors. Father's Day is always the U.S. And so they, got the question, well, Dad, what do you want to do on Father's Day? I want to lay on the couch and watch the U.S. Open and hopefully snooze a little bit while that's going on. Like, that's what I want to do. It was the most horrible TV broadcast I've ever seen of any sporting event. Like, literally commercials every 3 minutes. They're not following a specific group of players. They're showing highlights from earlier in the day instead of showing live action on the course. It was bad. It was horrible. And I think the big thing is the PGA Tour is pushing because they know they're going to get whooped. Like, this is there. And Phil Mickelson kind of got into it a little bit in his book too. I've been asking the PGA to make some changes, and as a lot of athletes have, and they all do this under the radar because if they went public with some of this stuff, they're going to get shunned. But the PGA's never budged. Like, why in the world are we living in today's day and age with access to all these sports and all this stuff that's going on? Why is it that you can only watch coverage of events from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock on Sundays and Saturdays? Why do you pass it around to all these different channels? You got to give some to CBS, got to give some to ABC, got to give some to NBC, and they can screw it up however they want to screw it up. You got all these different announcers every time.
Yeah. They
have their favorite players, and Tiger Woods could be 15 strokes behind, but the camera's going to follow Tiger Woods around and not show you the action of actually what's going on the course. And I think the PGA is shaking in their boots. And it was shown that by, hey, when these guys signed up to play just the invitational tournament, the first one that was in London, then the PGA is like, yeah, we're banning you from the PGA. You are fired. You're kicked off. You cannot play with us anymore.
Has Tiger come out and said anything about it?
They offered him a lot of money, but of course, he can't even play right now anyway. They offered Jack Nicklaus $100 million just to be the face of LIV Golf, and he's like, no, I'm not doing that. He's old and kind of in retirement anyway. Greg Norman is the president and CEO and the old Shark. He's been around a long time, but he's a big advocate for it. But PGA's got some competition, boys, and it's not looking good for them right now.
I like it.
I think it's really neat. The other thing, I did talk about the number of tournaments. So you have the opportunity to make a lot of money
In a shorter amount of time.
and and that's when I looked at, I'm doing this for my family. It's not just the money. It's like I could be a professional athlete
Half a year off.
and
Yeah.
not be gone all the time.
All the time.
And not only am I going to be gone, I'm going to be gone not knowing that I'm going to get a paycheck. Like, I don't know if I'm going to get a paycheck if I'm going to go to this PGA tournament if I don't make the cut. I don't know that. You tell me of another pro athlete that shows up to play that is not going to get paid.
Yeah. There's not another one. Yeah.
Maybe I don't know tennis well enough, but I don't know about that. But I could tell you there ain't a football player on that sideline that's not getting guaranteed paychecks. There's not a baseball player in that dugout that's not getting guaranteed paychecks.
Yeah, I mean, I would think of, tennis, any solo sports. I just don't know enough about them to know.
Yeah.
If you make it to Wimbledon, is there a cut? Or if you come in last, do you get paid? Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway.
What about NASCAR? If you come in last, do NASCAR drivers get paid?
NASCAR drivers get paid bunches of money just for driving. The owner's the one that gets all the money.
Yeah.
I'm sure the drivers get bonuses, but
That's the only other one that I could think of that kind of individual sport.
yeah, but you kind of look at it, that's more of a team anyway.
Yeah.
And all of them are racing for Chevy or racing for Ford.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd heard about it. I didn't know much about it. I've seen people commenting online, and most of the people that I've seen commenting about it were like, this is terrible. I'm glad you're kicked off the PGA, get out of here, un-American, blah, 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 whatever it is, and I was like, well, I don't know enough about it. I don't care enough to do really the research, but
right.
I can say with 100% assurance that Phil Mickelson is a red-blooded American. And I don't know if he'll continue to do it, but every birdie that he used to make, he donated $1,000 to Homes for Our Troops.
Yeah.
And, I mean, to call somebody like that, oh, he's un-American. I mean, he's like one of the nicest guys on the course.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and to put it in Charles Barkley's words, he was on a few weeks back. He was on one of these sports shows, and they were asking about it because he's good friends with Phil, and his golf game's really come around. By the way, Barkley's has his swing, but they're trying to get him. Can you believe these guys are going? He's like, hey man, you give me $150 million, I'm going. Like I will go.
Didn't he say?
He said I'll kill a relative for $150 million, and then he's like, and then Phil got $200 million. I'll kill a relative I like for $200 million.
Barkley doesn't care.
He doesn't hold back. No. That's nice.
That was one of the funniest things when Phil and Barkley were playing like Tom Brady and somebody and some whatever. They're all mic'd up, and Mickelson bombed a drive way down there, and Barkley tried to say, that shot so long they're going to serve hors d'oeuvres on that flight. But it came out in a Barkley way, and Mickelson looked over at the camera. He's like, "Hey, can we get some subtitles for what he's saying? I can't understand."
That's awesome.
All
right. Appreciate insight on that. That was good.
The LIV Tour, LIV. Yeah. Check it out on all your streaming platforms.
Yeah,
because you can for free.
And you can watch the whole tournament as it's happening. You don't have to get up and watch, just to try to see how your favorite player's doing.
I'm intrigued. I can't wait to watch one. I mean, like I said, I've been kind of oblivious to it all, just not really paying attention to it. And hearing kind of both sides makes sense to me.
More power to them. I know there are issues that are out there, but...
Hey, maybe they'll sponsor the Hardheaded podcast. I just want 1 million.
Yeah. You'll do that from Saudi Arabia? I can't tell you, Troy. I can't believe that.
I'll kill a relative for $1 million.
I'll slap the crap out of Troy for $100.
I will let you for $500.
All right, perfect. Take a break, and when we come back, top 3 albums.
1783, the first victory. Victorious in war, this year sees America earn her independence. At Admiral's Pennant, we celebrate victories at the end of war. 1783 is the first of many such celebrations in our nation's history. This is an elegantly refined blend of sandalwood, cedar, and tea tree. The subtle, lingering, woody scent of the sandalwood, light cedar, and the top notes of tea tree is the essence of masculinity, honoring the men who fought and continue to fight to provide us our independence.
Check it out at admiralspennant.com. Without it, you might as well shave.
And we're back.
We're back with our top 3 albums. And Troy.
Tell us how you screwed this up.
Yeah, tell us how you
This
have
can't be done.
So
finangled this.
I did not do top 3 albums. I did not. Because there's the reason you can't do it, there's just too many genres.
No.
It could do top 3 by genre, which I think we have done before. We did bands or groups or whatever. We didn't do albums.
It's albums, yeah.
Anyway, I did top 3 albums that I am currently my go-tos.
That's fine.
That's fine.
That's the top 3. These are your top 3 albums.
These are my top 3 albums that
as we are asking you today.
that I am listening to in this season of life.
It's top 3 albums.
So I have 2 honorable mentions, and then I have top 3.
Honorable mentions are coming last.
I know. I'm
Okay.
not going to say them. And then, yeah. So here we go. Number 3.
Can I
Yeah,
just
sure.
interrupt for 1 second here? Went back, when I was listening to the Rise and Fall of Mars Hill. Okay.
Keep coming back.
Why?
And
Listen, why I give you that random podcast that is an extremely large investment of time,
yes,
but I tell you to watch Lord of the Rings and you won't do it.
I've tried. I tried.
You got to give it an
I tried
hour,
Mars
at
Hill and I
least.
was like, hey, I could listen to this. This
Okay.
is really good. Anyway, in the commercials, it was in this season. We're just coming out of a really challenging season. I don't know. And you just use the word season. I've heard season too much. It's almost like it's overused. It's becoming one of those words that's like bowl. I can't.
I'm
I
going to use it every week now.
Season of life.
Go ahead. I'm excited.
All right. I was trying to think off the top of my head, is there an album called Seasons? I'm sure there is.
The 4 seasons.
Vivaldi. Yeah.
All right, number 3,
You're an educated man.
Unlimited Love. The Red Hot Chili Peppers. It just came out. It's really good. John Frusciante, I think that's how you say his last name. He's back with the Chili Peppers.
Is he a guitar player?
He's the guitar player. He's the one that's always in and out, drug rehab and whatnot.
Okay.
I don't know. But when he's on an album,
It's a good album.
it's a good album.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of my favorite bands. I listen to them a lot, but their new,
Unlimited Love.
their new album's pretty good.
All right.
Numero Dos. True Sadness by the Avett Brothers. 2016. Really good, solid album. The lyrics, some of the songs on this album, they just resonate
In this season.
with the season of life that I'm in
Yeah.
right now.
This season in our lives.
Yes. And then number 1, this band, ever since I heard about them in like 2008, I just can't get enough of them.
Mm-hmm.
So their 2017 album called Outlive, and it's by Demon Hunter. I listen to it a lot. It's really good. And they had a double album come out since then, but I think the 2017 album's better, so I go back to it. But yeah, one of my favorite bands.
All right.
That's my top 3.
Those are your top 3 albums
If you were to
of all time.
No, not of all time. Because that
seasons.
can't be done.
Of
But
all
if you were
seasons.
looking to my recently played, those albums would definitely be in the line.
Now, I guess this question is for both of you guys. When you think top album, it's like I put it on number 1, and I listen to it straight through.
Yep.
I am an album listener anyway. And what I mean by that is when I listen to music, I like to listen to an album. I don't go shuffle songs unless I'm like, hey, Alexa, play songs by Avett Brothers. I do that a lot when I'm cooking in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But I would rather just start with an album at the top and listen to it. If it repeats a few times, sure, I love it.
Yeah.
And if I get sick of it, I start a new album. Like I'm an
I
album listener.
Okay.
Are you the same way, Matt?
No.
But in this case, your albums, you do listen to these.
Yes, these are the albums that I can put on track
roll.
1,
let it roll,
and roll all the way through, no problem. Love them all. Love all the songs on them. And I think we've lost, you say it can't be done, but I would argue that albums back in the day are better than albums today, specifically because
There's still a few bands,
not very many though,
but there are some.
but there used to be a lot more
it's
consideration
a
put
body.
into
It's a body of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Instead of just an individual song trying to find that hit and then they put a bunch of crap
Yep.
around it that
Yep.
doesn't make any sense.
B-side. Yeah.
One of the best. Well, I won't even say it. Never mind. Y'all just get through your list.
One of the best, what? Say it. One of the best.
Well, I was going to say one of the best bands that
bands.
ever did album, just core album as a whole masterpiece. I'm not going to say it because it might be on one of your top 3.
Yeah.
It's probably this one right here.
What is it?
Metallica.
No, it's not them.
So the self-titled album Metallica,
The Black Album.
91.
It's called The Black Album.
Phenomenal.
It is a phenomenal album.
I can put that on 1, go all the way through, and jam the whole way through.
Number 1, not the song 1. The first song on that album is Inner Sandman, not 1. Just want to make that clarification.
Number 1. There's a song called 1.
Yeah.
There is a song called 1 that's on Injustice for All. That was the album before.
And that's a good song
Yes, it is.
as well. Number 2, and this is technically not even, this is an album, but it's Chris Ledoux Top 20 Greatest Hits compiled into an album.
No.
And
Nope. Go to an honorable. You can't do a greatest hits album. Nope.
it's an album. You just said it's an album.
Vetoed.
No.
It's an album.
It's been
not.
vetoed.
It goes against the putting a body of work together. They did not put that body of work together.
They did, and it's awesome.
No, they didn't.
Chris Ledoux did not put his.
Well, I think he was dead, but wait, was he?
Whatever. What's the name? Greatest hits.
Yeah, just Greatest Hits. Yeah, but it is an album. But
it's not.
But that's one that like I put that one on, and just because that's what I bought back in when 99 when it came out, and I had the CD and put the CD in and just listen to that straight through.
Is he a country artist? Because I have no idea who that is. Okay, I figured.
But the way that those songs were,
Oh man, we just lost a few listeners.
We
Did you
did.
hear that?
gone. But
It's like all the clicking. People, I can't believe he didn't know that. Can't listen to this guy.
Do you have an honorable mention that's like a real album that you could just bump up the list?
Pure Country by George Strait.
Okay, there you go. That's better. That's a good one.
The soundtrack to the movie. So
And the sidewalk ends and the road begins.
All right, number one.
Number
I hope it's
one.
not a greatest hits or a live album.
No, I don't. You know me in live music. I don't like the live albums because they just don't sound as good. Number one, No Fences by Garth Brooks. I think that is by far
That's funny.
because Garth Brooks puts in the and that's the reason that he is not on iTunes or Apple Music or anything like that, is because he wants you to buy that body of work, because he put that all together and wants you to listen to it as a complete musical body, not just one song. And each one of those songs just flows one after the other on that.
Yeah.
That's number one.
Wasn't curated by the record company to say this is where the greatest hits should be in this order.
Hey, I will say on the Chris Ledoux's top 20, they did a really good job of compiling those top 20 songs because it's awesome.
Number 3, Vessel by 21 Pilots,
Very good.
2012.
Is that the one where the grandfather's on the cover? Yes.
That's
kids love Guns for Hands. They still ask me to play that in the car.
That's a good album. I can put on 21 Pilots and everybody in the car's happy.
Yep, same here.
Number 2, Kind of Blue by Miles Davis. You guys know this album?
No, but I know who Miles Davis is.
Number 1 selling jazz record of all time. And let me tell you what's really neat about this. And you guys need to download it because it's just a great. You just turn it on and listen to it. He sent them, the guys that we're going to record with, he sent them scales. Like, this is a song and I want to play it in this scale. This is a song. And then they got to the studio and just started playing. Why don't you hit your little saxophone solo, Matt, when we get to the 16th bar? Didn't tell you what notes to play. You're just feeding, and then the trumpet comes in and feeds off what the saxophone did, and they just made music and recorded it in 2 days, and the days were like months apart. And there were no rehearsals. They would just record it, and they got to the end of what they played, and they're like, you know what? I didn't like how I took that from you and blended it into this, so let's just do that again. Let's get going. And then they in 2 days they have this, and it's just a phenomenal jazz
jam session that they recorded, and it was
basically
incredible.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think I learned that they call these camps.
Camps?
Whatever you want to call it, man.
I was watching Hot Ones, and they were talking about how they
used to jam.
Well, how they kind of get together when they want to write songs, and it may have been Timberlake who was talking about it. He's like, but we just kind of go in and kind of a camp.
Yeah,
interesting.
Number 1, Emotionalism by the Avett Brothers back in 2007.
Yep, that's a good one.
Oh,
are they from Louisiana?
No, they're from Concord, North Carolina. The Kind of Blue was in 1959. But Emotionalism, 2007, may have been their second album. It's the one that kind of got them going publicly. And it had 16 songs on it. I mean, they're just start at the beginning and go. And anybody that's like, oh, tell me about the Avett Brothers, listen to Emotionalism. Like, that's the album you need to start with if you want to find out who they are.
Yeah, for sure.
That's just it's a great.
I know I've heard a few of their songs, but I'm not real deep into their.
Yeah.
And that's one of those ones that I told you guys I would check out.
Yeah, they're good. Rick Rubin, one of the best producers of our time, he listened to this album and was like, I need to work with these guys. Like, and then the next album after this was I Am Loving You, and he produced that. So,
just another banger.
Yes, another good one. All right, let's get to some honorable mentions here.
Yeah, so we were talking about albums. There are a couple of, we could do a top 3 of bands that are good at full albums.
Well, that's kind of what we're doing here. Yeah.
It's not what I did, but
whatever.
That could be.
Shut your face. We could do top 3 live albums, top 3 greatest hit albums.
Yeah.
Tom Petty would be on there.
George Strait would be on there.
Dude, I'm telling you, I think that's a category we need to add.
Top 3 greatest hits albums?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll keep that to myself because I got some stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying Pink Floyd.
The Wall.
The Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh.
That album, start to finish, just a musical masterpiece.
Ozzy.
And another band that was really good at writing full, just orchestrical pieces. I don't know, is that a word?
It is now.
It is now.
Orchestral
is Tool. You can put on not their first and second album, but when they started getting bigger, their third, fourth, fifth albums, put those on. They're just one long song.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah,
it would be a good one. Top 3 movie soundtracks.
Yeah. I'll write that down.
That would be a good one. Yeah. All right. Well.
Oh, my honorable mention.
What you got?
Did you have any?
No, not off the top of my head.
No. Crash, Dave Matthews Band.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a really good album.
Ooh, Matchbox 20. What was the name of that album?
I know which one you're talking about.
And that Queen.
Queen had some really good songs.
Yeah, it's some good songs. I don't know.
Queen would be a good top 20 or a good greatest hits album.
Yeah.
Be a great one.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all ready for the good word?
Hit it, Troy.
All right. We are in day 26.
Mad Season.
Oh, that's right.
Mad Season. You Mad Season was that Matchbox 20 album that he loves. Season.
It's no longer my favorite. Yeah. No, that's not it.
That's it.
That's Season. Not it.
I think it's the self-titled album that you're thinking of.
Yourself or someone like you, the dude with the glasses and the helmet.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, so Mad Season was a spin-off band from Alice in Chains. Yeah. Jerry Cantrell, and that's good.
All I know is that season just sounds like a churchy word to me. Instead of, I'm just having we just came out of a really difficult time in our lives, but no, it's a season. And I get it.
We heard you the first time, Matt.
I get it. Because the seasons change and it's temporary.
The season of the podcast complaining about the word season is over, and it's time to move on to the new season of the
But I'm at this
good word
portion in my life.
All right, we're at this portion of the
podcast.
show, of the podcast, where we're still talking about asking God for things.
Okay.
All right?
It's the season of asking God.
It's this
day 26, ask whatever of him. I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. And so this kind of goes off on the same thread that we've been talking about. It's basically where your heart is. And are you looking to benefit yourself, or are you looking to glorify God? And so this week it talks about Solomon. And so shortly after Solomon was appointed king by his father David, and this is 1 Kings 3, 5 through 6, 7, and 9. The Lord appeared to Solomon during the night in a dream, and God said, "Ask for whatever you want me to give you." And Solomon answered, "Now, Lord, my God, you have made your servant king in place of my father David, but I am only a little child and do not know how to carry out my duties. So give your servant a discerning heart to govern your people and to distinguish between right and wrong." And so God granted his prayer and made him the most insightful, smartest man alive, if you will, because of his prayer. And it talks a little bit about, God knew Solomon's heart and gave him what he asked for and then some, right? Yeah. So he just overflowed. His heart was overflowed with, wanting to serve God. So God blessed him even more.
Yeah.
So what we really want actually matters to God, but it has to be
directionally what God desires is to be glorified.
Right. So yeah, what do you think about that, Matt?
I think it's in line with what we've talked about the last 3 weeks.
Yep.
Which is seek God what he wants, not what you think you want him to want you to have.
Right. And I mean,
like a $150 million contract from LIV Golf. Just
right.
To show up and play.
I mean, God knows our needs. He just wants us to see that our needs are important when they glorify him. So.
Lord, please let them stop using the word season.
Oh, man, I thought we were going to get like this real insightful prayer from him. I didn't either.
And then you say the word?
Portion?
Season. I was waiting for you to say season. I was like, well, it wasn't ultimately to glorify God, so it wasn't answered.
But it was answered because I said portion.
And then you just made it unanswered because you said season.
Yeah.
The little 180.
Hey, it happened. Maybe he changed my heart in that matter.
That's right. That's right. I love it.
Hallelujah. Thanks for listening to the Hardheaded Podcast. Don't forget to share this podcast with others to help us get the word out.
Also, if you haven't yet, please rate and review the show. This helps our podcast show up in other people's suggested shows that may or may not have listened to us before.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.